And we're live. Hello, everyone who is joining us later because no one's in yet because we just hit live. But if you're rewinding this or starting from the beginning, just want to say hello to everyone. This is the Kickstarter launch for I Make Boys Cry #2 and Resilient #1. I'm joined by George here, and we'll just give everyone just a quick minute or two to shuffle in.
Hey everyone, my name is George McHale, and I'm the writer of Resilient. So I'm super excited about tonight. So I hope you're hanging with us.
Quick little about for those who are new. I Make Boys Cry is a direct spinoff of White Widow. It's created by Jamie Tyndall and myself, and it is kind of a mix. I say it's almost like a female version of G.I. Joe meets Assassin's Creed, and with the fact that it's all centered around this school for female assassins. So I want to say hello to everyone. We're starting to get some hellos. Feel free at any time to ask questions. We will try and answer everybody as we go. Obviously, if we're in the middle of something, we'll try and get back to it. There is a bit of a delay. We're going to go through the covers. We're about to launch the actual Kickstarter, so it will be launching here tonight. There are some very rare items in that. So we've tried to jam pack this. Like the top tier is insane. And even I'll put it like this: the normal you get everything one is once again only $500, and it's over a $1,200 value. So yeah, we jam packed it. So that's a little bit about I Make Boys Cry. It is set in the White Widow universe. This picks up simultaneously to where White Widow #6 picks up, and goes from there as the ladies have to find their new 6th member. That's a little bit about this. So this will be a key issue because a new character is introduced, which I'll show you here in just a minute. And I'll let George talk a little bit about Resilient, which, by the way, is also part of the White Widow universe. In fact, Resilient crosses over in the fact that she's a graduate of the I Make Boys Cry school. She just doesn't know it. She went to the Boudica Academy, which trained her in a lot of her skills, and that's why she's a bit of a badass by herself. So I'll let don't give any spoilers though, George.
Okay. Yeah. So Resilient is a series about a judo teacher, and she's married, and she's a woman. Well, I can talk about the arms, right? Like it's
right.
on the cover.
Well, it's on the cover. Yeah.
So spoiler alert. Our judo teacher loses her arms through a tragic accident, mission of mercy. And she gets these kind of badass robot kind of pink mecha arms that are like indestructible. And basically what happens is there's her husband has a sordid past with the military, and it's all leading towards like a blood-soaked kind of climax with the Mexican cartel. It's a story that really talks about someone who goes through a major injury and their journey to recover and to show how tough they are. She gets beaten down. I put her right through the paces in this one, and I think you're gonna love seeing just her true character, her strength of character, and how she comes back from being knocked down in a major way.
Definitely. It's one of the things I quickly explained to a lot of people. This is kind of a street level character, which was something we didn't really have in the Absolute universe. That's one of the things we definitely try to do, is not just pile on a lot of the same genre. If you notice in the Absolute universe, you've got fantasy stuff, you've got horror, sci-fi, you've got thrillers, you've got suspense, you've got, you know, all of these sort of different elements. And so having a kind of a street level character who can hold her own on a bigger tier is something that I wanted to do. So let's just jump in real quick, because we want to. I know everyone wants the Kickstarter to launch. Here, I'm just going to go through and give a quick look at the covers. We're going to start with "I Make Boys Cry." This is the A cover by Jamie Tyndall. It's a standard cover. This one is a retail edition, so you can get this at your local store as well, as long as they ordered it. This is the B cover. This is going to be the foil retail variant by Jen Brummel, which is just a lot of fun, having this girl with all of these weapons just riding the subway like it's no big deal. This is like just such an amazing lenticular by Randy Green. This is a wraparound lenticular, and you can see it animating. That is pretty accurate. We tried to minimize any covering of stuff, so the UPC and everything are actually on the back cover. So when this folds, you won't see either of those. That is, again, another retail edition. Now we get to the Kickstarter editions. Kickstarter editions for I Make Boys Cry are 32 pages, not 24 pages. This one is a gold foil by JB Style, who's a anime style artist, as you can obviously tell. He did just a fun piece with Scope, Chillin'. And here we have the new character by Jamie Tyndall, Cazadora, which translates in English to the Huntress. She is, I won't spoil anything. There's some little hints, like, for instance, the beta crossed out from the alpha squad rules. This character is going to definitely, I think it's going to be a fan favorite. She's awesome. She rounds out the team perfectly, and if she survives. Here we have Eduardo. Wait, no, this one's Ricardo Jaime, who is the Darkon artist, which those of you who followed us on the last Kickstarter know he's an amazing artist. So we let him do a cover for us on this. This will be a pink foil. The previous one, by the way, I should have mentioned, is a silver foil. So these are foil covers. This is obviously the sketch cover, which are always popular. This is the sketch up cover by Jenna Powell, once again featuring Cazadora. And, this is on a special sketch paper, so you can have your favorite artist draw, or if you just want to enjoy it as is, it's a wonderful piece of art. Now we get to the metallic inks. So this is a trade dress metallic ink. I'll show you guys an example of metallic ink here in just a minute. I'm pulling one up quickly. So this is what a metallic ink. It's paper, but as you can see, it's holographic. So it makes the entire outside shine. This is the actual metallic ink of from our printer. So whenever you see metallic ink, this is what effect you're going to get, which are just amazing.
Gorgeous.
So you'll have that on that one, which is, you know, the another one by JB's Style. It is different, as you can tell by the background, as well as a little less clothing, and you get to see her eyes. This one's Eduardo Francisco. He is a Brazilian artist. He is very famous in the video game world. He does a lot of the artwork and concept art for probably a lot of video games you play, like one I used to play called Smite. So he's an amazing artist, and we did just a real fun, like almost 80s action background that when this is metallic ink is going to, I think, be one of the coolest metallic inks we've ever done. So that one's awesome. Then we've got Shikari. For those of you who are fans, Shikari is an amazing artist and did such a great job. So this will be a metallic ink version as well. Next, we get into the metals. And we have by Ricardo a naughty metal, of course, virgin here. They've been through some damage on their armor.
I see London, I see France.
Pretty much, which is ironic because when you find out where their mission is, in between London and France. Here we have, this is a variant on a cover I did a bit ago, but people couldn't fully see it because it had trade dress, and I never did it as a metal. I rarely get to have metals, so I put my foot down and said, darn it, I want this. I was very proud of this. A lot of the art got covered up. I wanted it as a metal. So now we've got a virgin metal. It's called a Hot Shot. There's a little bit of a grouping that she likes to do.
It's a different version of a headshot.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to go up against her. Again, this is Cazadora, the new character. So it made sense to have her here. Then we've got a metal naughty variant by Eduardo Francisco. Once again, this some battle damage. And last but not least, the Shikari battle damage metal. So, and now there is one more metal for the whole campaign, but only the top 2 tiers get it. And that is this amazing golden metal cover. It's by Felix. I'm blanking on, like, I can't believe I'm blanking on his last name. I suck. It's in there. But Felix is an amazing artist, and as soon as we saw this, we wanted to do a version of this. So there's only going to be 50 total of this. So definitely you'll get this for free, but only, you cannot do this as an add-on. The only way to get this cover will be if you get the top tier.
It's an amazing piece. Yeah, I can see why you picked it to be a metal.
Yeah. So then I'm pulling up here. I'm
so excited about the resilient covers. I haven't shared any of these on, like, not very many of them, at least, on social media at all. This will be the first look at a lot of these resilient covers out there. So
yeah,
and we've got an incredible roster of talent. So yeah, the one that I'm maybe the most excited about is this Ed Venice cover. I can't wait to get to that one. You know, Ed Venice, a legend, you know, worked on Birds of Prey, worked on Justice League. We'll get to that in a second. Right here is from our series artist, Vinzel Tabanis. This is like our cover A. It's a retail version of the cover, and it's also available on the Kickstarter right now too.
Yes, and this is also a metallic ink by none other than White Widow alum and veteran comic artist Ali Garza, who just cannot get enough of doing covers for us, apparently. I think he's done something for every single issue of White Widow except #1. That was, and he still grumps about that. No, wait, maybe we did do him a special #1. I think he might
Yeah,
have done
Ellie,
a.
what a fantastic talent, right? I've been following him. I remember he did Teen Titans back in the day, and Supergirl, and Deadpool, and now we've got him as a cover artist here. And I had the pleasure of meeting Ali in New York City, and just an awesome dude and amazing talent.
Yeah, and obviously this is the famous an homage to the famous "We Can Do It" poster from World War II, which ties in with the title itself, "Resilient." We went back and forth a lot on title, but we'll talk about that maybe as the time goes. Here we've got the Lenticular. Go ahead
Yeah,
and.
this is by Andy Bellinger. Andy's an artist that's worked on Southern Cross for Image, I Kill Shakespeare for IDW, and Swamp Thing for DC Comics. And it's a beautiful image, a lenticular. So you see our heroine, Jolanda, with and without her robotic arms here. Andy, what a talent, man. He's a comic book creator by day and a professional wrestler by night. Bob the Animal Anger is his wrestling name, and he just slayed it on this cover. Up next, we've got a cover by Chris Brooks Morris. He's known as Brooks on Instagram, and dude, what a great talent this guy is. A super nice guy too, and he's got, this is the only cover that features both our heroine Jolanda before she loses her arm, and her husband Colin. So this is kind of like Colin's first appearance, first page, first cover of Colin. There you go.
Yeah, and also this is a red foil cover. It is the first of the Kickstarter exclusives, so everything from here on are exclusive only to Kickstarter, so you cannot get them in your retail store.
Here's the Ed Venice cover. Yeah, like I said earlier, Ed Venice, a legend. I've been talking with Ed for the last year and a half, 2 years, trying to get a cover, because he's just one of the pillars of the industry, and I feel so lucky. This actually, we only got this in about a week ago, and Sanju Navanju colored it up for us, and I think it just turned out absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so psyched. And Ed Bennis, he knows how to draw women, right? His time on Birds of Prey, just cemented that. His Wonder Woman is iconic, and now he's drawing Jolanda here with her katana. Yeah,
and this is a silver foil as well. So this one's a silver trade dress. That was the last, actually, of the foil trade dress regular covers. And next we've got, this is a metallic ink trade. So
this is by Mystic Arts. Mina Petrovic. You might know her from her YouTube channel. She does tutorials on how to draw manga, and just an incredible artist. I work with her on another series, and yeah, she's really slated here. I just love how the foot is just like coming right at you in 3D. I think it's drawn beautifully, and that's San Diego Comic-Con convention center in the background there. So yeah, I think it turned out beautifully.
Here is another metallic ink, very action anime style.
Yeah, this is by Jeffrey the Chamba Cruz. I just like to say his name, the Chamba. Yeah, Jeffrey is an Australian artist. He's known for his work on Street Fighter and Darkstalkers, lots of Udon art, and man, like, what a dynamic image, just coming right at you, like she's gonna club you with the right hook here. Yeah, this is one of my favorites for sure.
And we didn't miss out on a sketch cover. So this is a blank sketch cover. And as you know, the #1s are always the best ones to get. These are only $10. I do want to say that. So you can add this on to any tier. Next up, and speaking of add-ons, when you see the cover gallery, the prices for add-ons are right there. And a new facet of Kickstarter, if you didn't do the last one, is you can actually select add-ons and create your own tier in essence. I always suggest pick the highest one, because as people saw on the last one, there are often push goal rewards that are tied to, you get better stuff at the higher tiers. So it's graduated.
I love sketch covers. I can't wait to see people getting sketches done by different artists that you wouldn't maybe normally see, and they're doing it on this. It's such a fun thing to do at conventions too, is to, you know, take a sketch cover to one of your favorite artists and be like, can you draw this character, and to see that version of it. And definitely, guys, like, when you get these sketch covers made, you know, take a picture of it and send it to us. We want to see those too. So this cover is
these are first up. These next two are medals. So there's a total of 6 regular medals, and then the one golden one. So, yeah, go ahead.
This is by artist Colin Turnbull. It features our heroine on the beach, looking good. And yeah, Colin is a new talent. This is his debut artwork, and I think he's going to be a big star. So I would recommend picking this one up.
And last but definitely not least,
yeah, we've got Ed Venice again here. This is our fire cover, and Jolanda is standing there in the flames, ready to brawl. Again by Ed Venice of Justice League fame, and yeah, beautifully colored by Sanju. So awesome. That's a metal cover right there.
All right. Let me put in the URL.
I'm excited, dude. I'm ready to launch. I've got my suit on.
So we are going to be launching here in just a minute. It's the name of it is I Make Boys Cry Resilient. Because that's what it is.
Well, after you cry, maybe you need to be a little resilient.
A little. All right, and we are going to be going live in.
You're gonna count down like New Year's?
3, 2, 1.
Woo!
It is launching. It says drum roll.
I'm psyched. And
the project is live. So we are live as opposed to dead. So
Benny, I want to thank you, man, for bringing me in as part of the Absolute Comics universe. I'm absolutely excited, and I feel really honored that you kind of believed in resilience to launch it as a Kickstarter. With I Make Boys Cry too. I think this is the first time you're doing a Kickstarter without the White Widow title attached. So
correct.
I want to thank you for believing in the book, and I'm hopeful that people are gonna really like it, and it's gonna take off here.
Well, it's a good book. It's something I should mention to people when we say it's street level. It is definitely a age 16 plus. There are for language and violence, definitely, and subject matter, and pretty much everything. So this is not for kids on that one at all. Not that necessarily any of our books are, sadly, for little kids, but
I got a review in for Resilient here, and it read, an emotionally violent gut punch, a must read, is what Shots with Comics mentioned.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they really enjoyed the book a lot. That was their book of the week this week. So yeah, and I'm sure they're coming to support it, and I'll be attaching links to everywhere I can.
One thing as well, as we were talking about add-ons, there are some add-ons down here for Dual Identity number 3 and First Defense number 3. Now, these aren't really on, I mean, we included them in some of the higher tiers just as here are some really great bonuses. Because we like to give away the farm. But this isn't about them. These are retail edition books, but as you notice, this issue 3 is a White Widow crossover. So White Widow makes a tiny kind of appearance in this Kickstarter, but it's not about her. And then First Defense crosses over with Pulse, who you may remember was from White Widow number 2. So you can add these covers on, or you can get them at your local comic book store. I already got advanced copies of, let me see, how do I go to just, there we go. This is the lenticular for First Defense. So I already have this.
That's so cool.
This is by Genzo Man, obviously. He's done a lot of our covers. Such an amazing talent. You might know Genzo Man from, and then here's the A cover. Whoa, that's so slick. Which is fun. This was the book was supposed to be out for Christmas. Little late, so kind of annoying. But this takes place after the events of White Widow number 2, where she knocked Pulse out. Small spoiler, but you know, if you haven't read issue 2 yet, I don't think that's like she just literally came out of a coma that White Widow put her in. So if you wondered what happened to the villain, like the villains will cross over, the characters, this is going to be the same type of universe as Marvel and everything else. So except, you know, we don't tend to be political.
What's this dual identity lenticular? It looks gorgeous. Just up a little bit there.
Oh yes, it's a 3-image lenticular on that one. So it's, you get dual identity. Dual identity, for those who don't know, she's a superhero by day, super spy by night, and she happens to work for the organization that is chasing after White Widow. So that tends to put them at odds. So what this is this one's, if you remember in issue 4 of White Widow, she went up against the character Artemis, who was the alter ego of Andromeda, who she thought was her friend, and barely escaped with her life. And this is that same encounter, but from Artemis / Andromeda's perspective. So we get to see what was going on in her mind and new art and things like that. So
what's happening in the I Make Boys Cry second issue? What's the plot of this one?
The main thing is they are searching for Cazadora. Tiny little, so give a tiny little sneak peek here. Earmuffs if you don't want even the tiniest of spoilers. So Cazadora, I mean not Kaz, the Alpha Squad is obviously the elite squad for IMBC, the organization. Just a reminder, I Make Boys Cry is not really what the organization stands for. It's actually a Latin phrase, which we haven't revealed yet. But um, uh, but she, so the Alpha Squad is like their top tier squad, but there are other Beta, Delta, Gamma, etc. squads within the IMBC organization. They typically have a 6-person, what's called a fire team in military terms. That's a team that goes out there, a squad of sorts that go on these missions. But if you noticed, the IMBC team only had 5 members. That's why they recruited White Widow, tried to train her to be part. And if you read IMBC #1, you saw what happened there. In #2, they need to find another 6th member, and we hear a little bit about the fact that they formerly had a 6th member. So that's going to be kind of a thing there. And then, Cazadora may be the new 6th member. Again, if she can survive. So they're doing the action in this is intense. Like I say, whenever I say G.I. Joe meets Assassin's Creed, anyone that's ever read G.I. Joe, the comic book by Larry Hama, the original one, know that that's not an insult or degrading, because he did some of the best stuff ever.
I love the pacing in your books. It's just like a thrill ride. It just kind of keeps going and going and going, and the way that you intertwine mystery. You're kind of always kind of wondering, what's going to happen next on these in these books, and there's always kind of something more and something not revealed, and so it kind of keeps you wanting more.
So here's, if you scroll down on the page, you'll see a couple interiors we tease you with. No words, because we don't want you to know too much. But this is an actual page from the inside of issue 2, as is this. So as you can see, the artist is just continuing to be an amazing. He's a veteran, Ronaldson. So I highly recommend for art fans on that. Then we've got these are a couple interior pages from Resilient. I couldn't show very many pages because it gets it gets pretty violent right after this page.
It's a 16+ book.
Yeah.
There's violence and gore, and there's cursing, and but it's what I like. I think I actually received the hugest of compliments the other day. I was doing an interview about the book, and someone compared it to like a Quentin Tarantino story, with some grittiness and cursing and violence like that. So I took that as a huge compliment.
Well,
and that's what we set out to do with the book, is to create real kind of characters that you can relate to, so that when the carnage happens, you care, you're invested. Kind of the Peter Parker approach, where you've got, you really care about Spider-Man because he's always blowing his dates with Mary Jane, and he's always running late to help Aunt May get to a doctor's appointment. So when things get crazy, and the Green Goblin attacks, you're invested, and you're hoping that Peter can come out of this. And that was kind of my approach with this series too, Resilience. It is based on it features a husband and wife character. Our heroine is the lead, but it has that relationship between those two people that I think will draw you in.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay, and we're already over 1,000. I'm kind of watching this. Let's see how
Cheers
fast.
That's,
um,
I'm celebrating, man. I'm happy. I'm feeling good. This is a long day coming for me. This is my first series released by a publisher, and I'm absolutely psyched to be here with you, Benny. So yeah, let's cheers.
so Lindsay Deanshaw asked, "Are we able to back at $1 and upgrade?" Absolutely. You can always upgrade. You're not locked in until even after the entire thing is done. You've still got backer kit, so you can do. Now, the one thing I will say is, um, the physical push goals that we will be giving out will only be available on physically shipping products. Um, got yeah, Sapphire Glade Comics. Pulse was a good character, great rival to White Widow, but the actual rival for her is probably Red Widow. Well, Blood Widow, you mean? Yes. Not to spend a lot of time on White Widow, but I look. You've kind of seen her building up in the background. That's been leading up to the next issue of White Widow. So we will see the return of Blood Widow on issue 7, and there will be blood. So, um, someone said, like us, we're worth every penny. Just wish shipping wouldn't take as long for orders placed on the website. Yeah, we're working on that. We're working with a new printer who is much faster. They're local. Um, uh, we are very demanding, as you've seen with like the lenticulars and the these. Um, they've been learning and having to stockpile. So a lot of the times we do the metallic inks. We have literally they said in our first order we did with them, we did more metallic inks than they have done for all other publishers combined since they started offering that as a product. um, and that was a small order for us. So, yeah. Problem is they're literally having supply chain issues. They're bulk buying, and we literally have trucks coming every week from Georgia, the plant in Georgia that goes to South Florida, in order to um, fulfill that paper requirement. So that's a big one. They also are now, they've been outsourcing. Another slowdown has been they've been outsourcing the foil. They literally have ordered their own foil manufacturing and UV to be in house because of us. So we're literally changing this company's entire business. So they're going to get faster. Everything will continue to get faster. Um, we uh, we see it already. We are right at the precipice right now of 3,000. Just to kind of give an update.
Oh wow, it's jumping up
Um,
fast. As far as the quality of the Absolute Comics books, Absolute Comics Group books, they're top notch. Like it's the printing quality is something I've always been really impressed with, and the covers are just fun, man. Like it reminds me of like back in the day, like in the '90s when you get like those kind of special foil covers or holograph covers or all those sorts of things. Absolute Comics Group is doing that and bringing the fun back into comics for sure.
yeah, I mean, it we always love to have. I've always felt like the best things are when the comics and the covers. We could sit there and be cheap and do just the only variant is just a virgin of the exact same cover. We try not to do that. If we're gonna have a virgin, why not make it metallic ink? Why not make it something that's like super awesome and different than anything else out on the stands? We also go thicker on the paper than anyone else. Um,
I really like
you know,
thick paint paper. That's it feels nice in your hand. You've got the little bit more to it, and it's just it enhances the reading
Yeah.
experience. Honestly, just when the book is of higher quality, and I think that's huge. I think you kind of understated it a bit though. Is like going forward now, you have your printing in your home city, so I think
Oh,
the
about
fulfillment is
2 hours away, but yeah, yeah, and then we have our own. We have a dedicated warehouse, so with full-time staff. We have our own truck, our own driver, who literally takes every week. For those who haven't been noticing in their local comics shop, retail editions have been hitting diamond for the past month and a half every week. Um, so, uh, and we should have a book every single week between now. There's 1 week we miss in June. It just happened that there was a week in there. And then starting in August, we will have two books a week coming out. That doesn't mean we're going to have a Kickstarter every week. No.
so
Um,
resilient is. We should maybe mention this. This is like the start of an ongoing here, and this is the
yes.
debut of a new character, first time she's ever appeared, and
Key issue, like they
yeah,
say.
I think
Um,
so.
there's a lot of key, well, her and her husband are key. She is mentioned in I Make Boys Cry #2. So, well, alluded to, I should say. So, a little spoiler there. So there is a bit of a crossover. But yeah, we will be doing, just to talk about the Kickstarter methodology. We will be doing um, uh, like White Widow might be 2 issues at once, and then we might end up, because by the way, White Widow as of issue 7 goes monthly. So
Oh,
we are um, doing that. Get some
I mean,
more. Go ahead.
so one thing is, I want to let people know that like resilient is 100% done. Like it's ready to go. Like so, uh, and one thing that I'm doing right now, just on like the kind of behind the scenes things, is I'm working on sourcing variant covers for the next issue. So if anyone
Right.
has any suggestions, throw that in the comments, and I'll definitely take that into consideration. Because we value you guys' opinions and who your favorite artists are. So drop those in the comments who you want to see
Yeah,
do
definitely.
future ones.
Yeah, the variants are always fun, and we'll do that um, for each. I've seen what 4 issues completed
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. We
definitely
got a nice
everyone's
head start on it, and it's going to be a bi-monthly shipping book.
correct.
Yeah.
Starting end of June, the very last week of June. This will be the first. It'll be in the July shipping month at your in your previews catalog, but it will actually ship on the last day of June. It just happened. We were able to squeak it in. Otherwise, we would have had 2 weeks of nothing, and I felt it was better to give it basically its own week. So we've got um, Stephen said he's shared us with writing with a Flight Rings Facebook and Twitter pages. Awesome. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Stephen.
Stephen is, for those who don't know, he does reviews for just about everybody over on Reading with a Flight Ring. Little Legionnaire, DC Legionnaire, Legion of Superheroes kind of reference there. He does pretty good. He's given us so far all positive reviews. So yay, thanks. We don't pay him. we spend our money on paper. Clearly. Let's see. Someone's still waiting on issue 1. Good news on that. So I literally got a notice here. Where is it? The first batch sent me a notice last night, and it shows that 8 of the packages from China. I don't think it's not showing, but 8 of the packages from China are in Cincinnati. So I don't know whether that means this is DHL. Don't know if that means we'll get them tomorrow or the day after, but they're here. They're in the U.S. now. So the remain. So that's 8 out of total of 28 packages. They did them in 3 different shipments. So yes, the long nightmare of waiting for international. That's why we're not doing anymore from there.
Yeah, so you can kind of back with confidence now that we're. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, back with confidence because we're printing locally, domestically, and so the books will be coming out quicker.
Yeah. Sapphire says the premium paper. You guys have some strong paper. Funny little aside. We were always thicker than the standard, but if you notice, we went even thicker. Not because we were trying to just like pound our chest or anything. It was a simple facet that a lot of our books were getting damaged by shipping. And we found that, if we go much thicker in paper, that's going to stem a lot of that. And the cost difference was actually less than we kept losing in replacements or in returns from Diamond on those. So, which before we switched to the higher grade paper, were just out of control. So,
Dude, I'm just excited to get this thing out there. This series, I think it's worth mentioning that Resilient has never been printed before. This is its debut. There's no it hasn't been printed and like sold at conventions before. This is its like the first printing of it. Like this is the number one of it, and so I've never actually seen it in physical form. It's only ever been digital for me. Collecting the artwork from the artist and getting it lettered and things like this is. So I can't wait to hold it in my hands. And get these like special covers like the lenticulars and the metal covers, and I'm thrilled about it, dude. This is my first series to be released by a publisher. I've had other series that have been I've had publishing offers on other series, but this is my first one to come out. So I'm really excited to bring this to you all, and I hope you enjoy it. This past Wednesday was when the Previews magazine came out, and that was kind of a special day for me. I tried to really kind of celebrate that, and I went down to my local comic book store and got the copy of Previews, and there was my name in there. So it was kind of a lifelong dream kind of come true for me to kind of make this accomplishment. And I want to thank Absolute Comics for believing in me and believing in Resilience, and I just can't wait to get it in my hands, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, quality tells. So see some more questions, and we're glad to have you. Sapphire said, need to persuade my comic shop to sell your books. I mean, every shop that I know of that orders White Widow and all, I Make Boys Cry and all of these, they sell out. So, we can't make every shop order our books, but I had they are. You can let them know our books are returnable.
That's huge. That's massive. It's a game changer.
Which is hysterical because we've been returnable, and other than for damages, we don't get any returns because they sell out. So, you just might want to tell your local comic store, hey, they're fully returnable, and that way they can order without any worry. I understand stores. I Stores are hurting. The margins are thin. You've got a lot of craziness going on right now in the market. You've got things going on with DC and Marvel and switching distributors and getting bought out by big conglomerate companies and so on and so forth. So I get it. It's a scary time to be a retailer, but at the same time, we are seeing a lot of upsurge of I think independence. You've got Kickstarter is a huge boost for us. One of the things we've learned is that our Kickstarter is our best advertising. As we say, if you notice, we point out you can get this at your local retail. You can get a lot of people like to get multiple copies, or they like to get that, but then they also like to get the specialty covers. So it's perfectly fine for you guys to not necessarily add on here. You might want to pick out the best variant stuff from your local comic store and try and get that perfect copy there. You're not going to pay for shipping. So so we definitely send people to your local comic book store. We support and love local comic book stores. I worked in one at age 14 all the way up through college at various ones. And then even when I went and started working at Marvel, I would do part-time at comic book shops while I was writing and thinking of stuff just for fun because I loved it. So I love retail comic book stores.
I love comic book stores so much. Here's kind of like a nerdy, like embarrassingly nerdy thing about me is I think when I was like 25, like on my birthday, I went into like the local comic book store to like treat myself to, it's my birthday, gonna get something. And I asked this shop owner, I'm like, dude, I mean, to be fair, like Okanagan Sports Card and Comics is my local store. And the guy's mostly like super into like sports cards. That's like his jam. And it's comic books is like his other part of the business. And I noticed that the graphic novel section at his store was just not laid out really nicely. So on my birthday, I spent like 4 hours like rearranging his whole store so it would like sell better. And because I love comics and I just wanted the store to do better. And I was hanging out there buying myself something for my birthday. And I was just like, I'm going to do this, man. And he's like, you have at it, George. So yeah. I love comic book stores. I'm planning to do like some in-store signings here. I live in British Columbia, Canada, so look out for me in like Vancouver or in the Okanagan here. And I'll be doing some store signings around the end of June, beginning of July, when Resilience is in stores.
And here we've got a comment from Valerie. I love covering.
Yeah, Cover Darkness is my series that I had on the independent circuit, selling at conventions. That's some of the monster art behind me there. Yeah, so that was my series that I'm kind of known for more is Cover Darkness, but this is the debut of Resilience. So thank you, Valerie. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Let's see. Someone said Luigi. I don't want to butcher that last name.
Luigi Terrell. I'm not familiar with that artist, but I'll definitely look it up. Thank you for the suggestion.
He says Luigi Terrell is how it's spelled. Okay. Certainly. Someone says, fun question for you too. If you're comfortable, what shows might you appear at physically if readers wanted to meet y'all? As far as conventions, I've got one coming up. I've got a here locally next Saturday or this Saturday. I'm doing a small signing at Acme Comics in Orlando, Florida area. Then I've got at the end of May Suncoast Comic Con. Then I'm scheduled. I don't quote us on the dates, but we're doing Fan Expo Dallas, possibly Boston. We'll see. Um, New York Comic Con, Dragon Con, MegaCon. Um, I think those are. There was some talk of some of the ones in Canada, but right now with travel, that's still kind of iffy. There's a
So
lot
really
of
quickly,
logistics.
I have like 8 shows planned for. So I'll be at Mad Monster Party in Phoenix, Arizona, Fan Expo Boston, MegaCon in Orlando. I'll be at AwesomeCon Washington D.C., Wizard World Chicago, FanX in Salt Lake City, and Rose City in Portland. So those are my next few cons that I have lined up towards the end of the summer. And so I'll be there. And if you want to bring your copies of Resilient, I'll absolutely sign them for you. It'd be nice to meet you all.
Yeah. One of the things most everyone we're involved with, we all kind of share is we do not charge for signatures. Um, you know, uh, sketches, yes. I don't do sketches. Do not have time.
I got a sketch
Steve,
request once. I was sorry, just really quickly. It was like super
sure.
embarrassing. So I sold a copy of my monster book, and the guy came back later, and he's like asked me to do a sketch in it. And I guess he thought I was the artist. I was presenting myself as a writer, but he thought I was the artist, and I didn't have the heart to like tell him. So I tried my best to draw like a little vampire in there, and so I did, and I handed it to him, and he looked at my vampire sketch that I put in there, and he's like, must take you a long time to draw the book, eh? So he was saying just how bad
Uh-oh.
his drawing was.
Yeah. Uh, sorry.
Absolutely, Steve. Yeah, we'd love a review of Resilience. Uh, yeah, I'll look you up and
Well, I'll send it whenever we get the final. It's still being re-lettered, remember?
mhm.
So uh, we've got just some final edits, but it's done. Just we gotta make sure. That's great. Someone said see you in Dallas. Okay, look forward to that. Um, Awesome Con. All right, that's a metro ride from there. So there's someone else. C2E2 Cincinnati Comic Expo, Lexington Comic and Toy Expo. I will probably do C2E2 whenever it's up again. When I think that's next
December.
year.
No, December. C2E2 and Emerald City. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out to those guys and see if I can make that happen.
Yeah. So we've got that. Someone saying they'll see us at Rose City Comic Con, and Sapphire saying, "Oh, be sure and send us any reviews. Any reviews any of you guys do, we love them. Good, bad, ugly. I've posted pretty much everyone that I find or that people tell us. The only time I've laughed is when I was saying earlier was when someone was literally doing a review based on the covers. And that was it. I'm like, okay, so you literally judge the book by its cover. Okay, interesting choice of way to review, but
I wouldn't worry about that, man. We got killer covers. We got
well,
bring it
like
on. We got
they literally for this was for White Widow, so it was all about how it was exactly like Spawn and not not really. Um, uh, Visually maybe because there are so many ways to do goop. I mean that forms. Um, but by the way, we're at 4,400 ish. So we are almost reached our goal. Um,
awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if we get another 600, It'd be nice to do. We're like approaching the 45-minute mark, so I love to have the little reached goal placard on there. Are there any questions anyone has? I do want to open this up. Uh, the anything's pretty much fair game. Um, um,
I'm excited to see some reviews come in too on the book. There's not too many people have read it at this point. It's brand new. It's never been printed before. So, um, yeah, share the any links that you have. Like once we start sending it out for reviews, uh, you know, let's try and get the word out on this thing because I think it's a special book, and I'm really keen to see these things too.
Also, I do want to say mention we do always if you do any kind of cool stuff, if you whether it be fan art or cosplay, or like we had someone in our last issue of White Widow, they did a custom pop vinyl of White Widow. So we, if it's really cool, we'll gladly share it in the actual Kickstarter versions. That's where we get a lot of our bonus stuff. So we'd be happy. Um, Someone asked, Philip Vernon was asking, is it literally on the slow boat from China? No, it was stuck in a slow queue in China. You missed earlier. I just mentioned I got the notice last night, which doesn't really show up whenever I try to show it. I tried. The books are in Cincinnati. At least one of the three groupings. I think they were going like one day at a time. There are all kinds of crazy limits right now, and that's what's slowing a lot of these carriers down, where they can only do X amount of kilograms per day or something like that, which has just been driving us nuts. That's why we cannot, even though I loved the quality of the stuff over in China, we cannot do it anymore. So
Benny, how many Kickstarters have you done?
This will be our eighth.
Yeah.
Eighth. Yeah.
And have you always delivered on your books?
Yeah. We everything will always deliver. We're still waiting on the physical, the trade papers, which are on the slow boat. And again, that was a queue to a boat. There's no tracking number for boats. The other thing that's annoying, we use consolidators over in China because otherwise logistics is impossible to deal with. The downside is literally I don't get a tracking number until suddenly it's here in America. Boom. Oh, looky there. I got a text. Yeah, I've literally had shipments. I'll get the tracking number a day after it's arrived at my door. So it's very annoying. But that was okay when things were coming out, and like we knew when we turned something in, as soon as we approved it, 15 days later it would be shipping air. 5 to 8 days later it'd be arriving. But when COVID hit, it went nuts. But that's why we switched to the domestic printer. And it took us a while. We had a false start with a different printer. But we've got this one right here. I literally spent months. I personally have gone down there multiple times working with them. They are a professional printer. They've been doing comics. They do stuff for Scout, for instance. So,
So I feel like everyone can back with confidence that this,
Absolute
Comics does have a proven track record. And I know it's frustrating when you're waiting on your books and stuff like that, but they're coming. They're coming, and these books are done. Like they're ready to print, and we feel confident that you're going to get them in a timely manner. The goal is to get them to the backers before they're in retail. That's the goal.
Yeah,
So
well, yours will definitely be there long before retail. The nice thing with these micro, like we do 10 days. And if you saw our last Kickstarter, which was the first one we did this on, we're $5 away from our goal,
oh,
by the way.
I'm gonna pour myself another glass of wine.
So we literally, it dropped, I want to say it was after the first of last month, and ran for 10 days. No, 9 days. Sorry, 9 days. And 10 days later, everyone had their backer kit. That following Monday, everyone had their digitals distributed, and they've been locking, and fulfillment's already started. So less than a month for fulfillment to begin.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And we're at 5140. So congratulations, everyone.
Cheers.
We definitely did it in 50 minutes. Just couldn't do that 45.
Well, less than an hour, man. I can't complain about that. It's great. Thank you everyone for your support. I'm so psyched about this, guys. Can we quickly go through the covers again in case someone just is kind of tuning in live to just quickly?
Yeah. Let me see. I had to pull them up.
Yeah. So Resilient, we went with a nice round number of 10 altogether, including the sketch cover and the 2 medals. So we've got 10 covers for Resilient altogether.
I'll start with Resilient here. I'm pulling these up. Thanks a lot, by the way, guys. We do appreciate your backing as always. So we love you guys. Hold on. Let me add this.
So this is our series artist, Benzel Tabanis. So he's an artist that you guys might not know. He worked on the French version of The Crow in France, and now he's lending his talents to Absolute Comics Group. This is Absolute Comics' debut with this book.
All right.
We got our Ali Garza cover.
And that one's Metallic Ink. Metallic Ink. Then this next one's Lenticular.
This is from Andy Bellinger, Swamp Thing artist, Mother Trucker artist, if you guys are familiar with that title.
Then the foil. This is the Kickstarter foil.
So this is by Chris Brooks Morris. He's known as Brooks on Instagram. I believe this is his comic book debut. He's a very talented artist. And then here we've got Ed Venice, man. Justice League, Birds of Prey, Ariel and Nina. Guy's a legend. And look at it. It's so killer. I'm absolutely thrilled with this cover. I'm psyched to work with Ed Venice for the first time here. This is Mystic Arts. She's actually the interior artist for my manga book. It's called Hybrid Force. It'll be out eventually. So this is her comic book debut. So this is another kind of key cover for the artist and for the series. So Mystic Arts, watch out for her. Jeffrey the Chamba Cruz, the Street Fighter 2 artist, coming right at you. And those are shiny covers, right? Those are
these two are Metallic Inks.
Metallic Inks, which are like the super glossy, really fun covers. And we've got our sketch cover. And absolutely, guys, when you get those sketch covers, add those on. They're only $10. And then, when you're at a con, get someone to draw Jolanda doing something killer. Tag us in that, post it on your social media, and we want to see those.
They're just gonna have her making out with Catwoman or Wonder Woman. Nothing wrong with it, but that's the one downside is I've seen a lot of sketch covers that we can't print.
You take pictures of those and tag me in them, and I'll throw them up on my social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is by Colin Turnbull. So this is another artist making his debut published artwork. So
That that is one thing I do want to say that we love to do and work with our new artists and new creators because you know there are so many talented people out there and you know like I know I think Nathan Surdy did his first cover with us and he's a talent. He's been on the circuit for forever. Jenna Powell got her start on I think it was White Widow 4, and has been just doing killer covers, including one we'll show in a minute. Like I did my first official cover on here. We've had guy like I think every single Kickstarter we've had at least one or two artists who literally that was their first published work.
and
So
this is a metal cover too. So
yeah, and he got a
some of your
medal right off the bat.
your first cover to be a metal. That's something special.
Yeah, I have like only a handful of medals, and meanwhile, Jenna has gotten more medals than. Jenna's my wife as well as the editor, so that's why I laugh at that. And of course, this one had to be a medal. So
I think the fire is going to look just really dynamite too when you turn it and the light hits it. It's like
oh
a
yeah,
metal cover by Ed Venice. Come on.
yeah, yeah. And then let me put that down, and then bring.
So there's 10 covers altogether for Resilient. How many covers are there for I Make Boys Cry?
There are 15 covers, I believe, and then one bonus, the golden medal. Here we go. I'm just going to go through these real fast. This is Jamie Tyndall's retail main cover. This is Jen Brumel's red foil retail cover. This is the Lenticular Randy Green wrap around Lenticular, which this just
It's
he
beautiful.
does such amazing work. I love his stuff. Um, then we've got JB Style, who's a manga artist who it's just such an amazing, old school anime vibe to it. I love it. With gold foil, we've got obviously the unmistakable Jamie Tyndall art with the official full armor of Cazadora, which I think she's going to become a fan favorite character. I just you get those characters that come along and you're like, so this is going to be a big one for her.
This is your Darkon artist.
The Darkon artist, a purple foil. We've got the blue foil sketch cover, which again, please send us. We'd love to see them, and we'll sign them. This is the sketch up cover by Jenna, as I mentioned. She's just continued to grow, and it's also CC. I should say, CC De La Cruz did the coloring. Jenna tends to work with. She has 3 different colors depending on what she's doing and availability. CC, this is her second one with CC, and CC does an amazing job every time. On like we've worked with her. You might know CC predominantly does a lot of the covers for, as well as I think she also does interiors for Lady Death, Brian Polito. Then again, we've got the metallic ink trade dress, metallic ink virgin. by Eduardo Francisco, who is a video game artist. And we've got Shikari, who this looks 3D, but I can tell you, I watched every step of the process of pencils, roughs, pencils, and everything. It is amazing what this guy did. This is not 3D. This is not. I. It is absolutely crazy. This is one that I'm gonna, in a future thing, I'm gonna take and show this guy's process, because it blew me away.
Yeah, that's next level. Like that's coming at you. It looks realistic, but you can tell it's art. But it's just so stunning. And yeah, that's a special artist right there.
And then now we've got the medals. These are the medal covers. The naughty, very naughty one. This one is one of my rare medal appearances. This is my art. This is the naughty battle damage. It was funny. He actually had on here initially on her butt a butterfly tattoo, and I said, I don't think assassins tend to want to have identifying tattoos, but it was very cute. But we had to remove it. So, and then the Shikari naughty battle damage medal. And last, this is the rare medal. It's one of 50. This is an up and coming artist who is just amazing. Felix, just watch for his stuff, because I've seen some of his other art. I know he's been getting commissions and stuff, and we hope to be giving him more covers as we go on. So
yeah, that's a great collection of artwork. Absolutely beautiful. I do want to just throw out there, guys, is if you guys want to continue partying with me, and I'm going to be over at 2nd Street Marvel in like 13 minutes. So I'm going to live stream with Trinity over there, and I'm going to continue talking about Resilience and its debut kind of launch into the Absolute Comics universe. So yeah, come join me with Trinity at 2nd Street Marvel YouTube channel. I'll be live streaming there next.
yes, get through just a couple more questions. Someone asked, are any plans to add more to the VIP section? Absolutely. We have. It just got slowed down as we were waiting for this stuff to come in. So there will be a lot of stuff added to the VIP section. We're actually also trying to get a new like technical person in who can do things like, if you're a VIP, that you can begin earning for every purchase and stuff, and build points and stuff, and trade in those points for exclusives and things like that. And we also want to do some exclusive VIP content. So some behind the scenes stuff, some videos, things like that. So we really want to bulk up VIP. So that is high on our priority list. We just had to get caught up on all of the stuff that we're behind. Someone asked, we did the White Widow 2.5 for Acme. Are you doing another special issue like that? Whenever we get a chance, we will, and we get all caught up on this. We do want to do stuff like, excuse me, like Free Comic Book Day editions, maybe some zero issues and some giveaways and things like that. But I'd just say stay tuned on that.
You know what would be cool? Can I throw something out there? Can I spitball with you on
Sure.
live air? All right, so just throwing it out there. One thing
It doesn't involve bleach and drinking bleach, right? Not that kind of spitball. Okay.
Free Comic Book Day in a couple years from now, maybe next year, who knows? You could do a collection of short stories featuring different characters from the Absolute Comics universe.
Well, we did, I don't think they allow flip books anymore for some strange reason, but we did 4 flip books for Free Comic Book Day, um, that I think were the highest circulation that year. And some of those titles are actually, now part of the Absolute Universe. That was under the Red Giant, banner. So several of those got folded in, and so we have done it before, and it was very successful. Um, we'll see. It's just that we don't get to determine. Like the way it's handled is basically, Diamond has a jury that selects which ones can be in. We haven't tried again, but we may for next year, because we love Free Comic Book Day. Let's see. Um, really been enjoying White Widow. Yeah, looking forward to I Make Boys Cry. It's a fun book. If you got the digital, I think you were one of the ones who were waiting on it. You should have the digital. If you want to read that, it's worth reading. So, let's see. Someone saying he'll be there. I'm waiting for that. Is there Stop Crying? I Make Boys Stop Crying. um, they might not be any condition by the time they're done for that. So, but yeah, um, I see some people on here talking about the Red Giant stock stuff, which generally happens. Yes, Red Giant is a company. Yes, that is the parent company for Absolute. Yes, as things settle and the powers that be, uh, work out their machinations, we are looking at being relisted and so on and so forth. So, knock on wood, that can be soon. But again, there are only so many hours in the day, and we're focusing right now primarily on building up the company, building it up well to where it's a solid, profitable company. Thanks in large part to the wonderful backers like you guys. We aren't buying Maseratis. We're not buying Ferraris. The main thing for us is we take the money that, like, we went through this with George. I kind of showed how the financials work on this. Most of the money gets off of Kickstarter gets reinvested right back in. So, um, it either starts new projects or it pays for the money we've advanced on this project and stuff. So, but the end result is we're building and we keep building up. One of the amazing things for White Widow is that White Widow, literally, uh, has outsold each issue progressively, which I had never seen. I did not expect. So,
There's
I
very
make
few titles that do that. The only one that I can really think of that really grew with each issue was like The Walking Dead.
Not for the first several years, actually. It went from, we looked this up. It went from being, I think they did 6 or 7,000 issues on the first issue, and then it didn't even make the top 300 chart for quite some time again, which was surprising because yeah, I always thought that it did. And 6 or 7,000 is a good number, but White Widow literally was, um, uh, I think 75, 80,000 circulation its first issue. and it's gone up from there. So, and I Make Boys Cry is just underneath White Widow. However, its first issue was ahead of where White Widow #1 was. So, so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out now that we've got. Now, White Widow does make a small cameo in I Make Boys Cry 2. So for you White Widow fanatics, and White Widow eventually will cross over with Resilient.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
So there's already there's already stuff in the works for I Make Boys Cry to cross over with Resilient, Dual Identity, Amped definitely will cross over. So so yes, there's going to be a lot of crossover for these characters. But the first main thing is he's got, was it 5 issues for your first arc?
Yes.
So the first 5 issues are kind of the origin story for the character, and then begins to quickly branch out from there. So, well, I want to thank everyone for being here. You know, I want to thank you for your support. We love you guys. George has got to jump here. We are ending out currently. It's at 5,600. Remember, this is only for 10 days. Also, remember what I highly recommend. You can do add-ons. The more we add on, the more push goals we can unlock. The more fun stuff. Things like in the past, we've done trading cards, and lenticular trading cards, and where's metallic ink trading cards, and foil trading cards. So there will be some trading cards, most likely. We did posters on the last Kickstarter. We did postcards, a lot of digital fun stuff that we added in. So definitely feel free to, the more you do, the more we can unlock, and the more you spread the word, we absolutely appreciate and love you guys for that. So feel free to keep things going, and we love you guys. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, Benny. And again, guys, if you want to watch me continue partying, Second Street Marvel. Yeah, thanks for your support, everyone.
And thanks to Second Street Marvel. He's always does some great reviews. He's if you guys want to see what true fandom looks like in a reviewer, definitely check him out. Check out a lot of the reviews and stuff. We've got several great reviewers here in tow. So have a good one, and thank you again, guys, for making it an awesome launch. Thanks. Bye.